Is your phone just an app delivering information, or is it actively hacking how you perceive reality? Seriously, think about it. If you've been feeling completely wiped out lately, like the 2026 election news is getting under your skin in a way it just hasn't before, look, you are definitely not alone. And honestly, it's not an accident either. Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving deep to expose the hidden mechanics of what we call the doom scroll architects. We all like to think of our devices as these, neutral little windows into the world. It's a super comforting thought, right? But the latest cognitive science is proving that this is actually a really dangerous illusion, and it's happening right there in the palms of our hands. Enter this fascinating 2024 concept from cognitive scientist Vittorio Gallese. He calls it a perceptual shifter. Your phone doesn't just show you reality anymore, it fundamentally warps how you experience it, right down to your core sense of self. It's exactly why a generic news alert doesn't just feel like distant politics, it feels like a hyper-targeted personal attack. Your agitation threshold? Yeah, it's being played like a fiddle. And look at how vulnerable we actually are to this. There's this brilliant April 16, 2026 study in PAUSE that exposed a massive blind spot in our cognition. Basically, we unknowingly transfer intense emotions from totally irrelevant domains directly into our political judgments. So imagine you're absolutely fuming because your favorite team just blew a huge game. The algorithm catches you in that exact, vulnerable state, serves up some political content, and suddenly, you are projecting that sports anger right onto a national policy without even realizing it. Researchers actually have a pretty terrifying name for this now: synthetic espionage. You might sit there thinking you're just analyzing a policy, but in reality, invisible architects have designed algorithms that mine the absolute depths of your identity. They are crafting and delivering highly personalized fear. They aren't just targeting a broad demographic anymore. They're targeting you. And all of this targeted fear creates a deeply dangerous biological vulnerability. It's something known as the brittle brain paradox. And you know what the cruelest irony of all of this is? The architects specifically target those of us who are trying the absolute hardest to stay informed and productive. See, normally our brains thrive in what's called smooth flow. It's this nice state where your cognitive processing and emotional regulation just hum along together perfectly. But put under the intense, constant, algorithmic barrage of the 2026 election cycle, high performers try to overcompensate. You try to force your focus. You end up literally white-knuckling your attention just to get through your morning inbox, and it creates this immense internal tension. And eventually, under all that manufactured pressure, snap. Your cognitive resilience just shatters. Imagine words cracking like glass under a hammer. The tension manufactured by these algorithms simply exceeds what the human nervous system was built to handle. And we actually have the hard data to back this up. A March 12, 2026 FIU study shows exactly what breaks down inside your head. Your frontoparietal network, which is basically your brain's air traffic control center for attention, gets completely overwhelmed. The neural pathways just become brittle. You completely lose the ability to process complex nuance, which, surprise, surprise, is exactly where they want you. Now, the doom scroll architects don't just sit around and wait for this brittleness to happen. They actively exploit it through hyper-personalization. They aren't just blasting random, scary headlines out into the void hoping something sticks. No, they are launching surgical strikes on your specific vulnerabilities at the exact moment they know your brain's control center is tapped out. How do they do it? Well, they use modern large language models for a sneaky tactic called persona prompting. The algorithm essentially generates an explanation of a political event that is tailored specifically to your exact demographic biases. It strips away all the messy real-world complexity and just hands you this custom-built, oversimplified rabbit hole designed to validate your worst fears. Which brings us to a truly staggering number: 95%. I want you to really think about that for a second. What could an app possibly know about your internal private state with 95% accuracy? Well, according to a groundbreaking 2026 XGBoost classifier study, new multimodal sensing can accurately classify your exact stress levels in real time, and it does this with 95% accuracy. How? By analyzing your smartphone's sensor data and tracking the microrhythms of how you type. The actual way your thumb hits the glass changes when you're anxious, so the app literally knows you're stressed before your conscious mind even registers it, and it exploits that exact millisecond to serve you personalized outrage. Okay, so that hyper-accurate stress data,
That is the fuel they use to trap you in what scholars are calling the age of emotion. They construct this invisible, self-reinforcing trap around you, known as the outrage loop.
It's a highly precise, vicious three-step machine. Step 1, they trigger algorithmic anxiety, using aggressive nudges precisely when they know you're stressed. Step 2, they spread emotional contagion so that fear jumps through your social network like a literal digital virus. And step 3, they blur your extended self, basically tricking your brain into treating a tiny notification on a screen as a vital piece of your physical identity. Researcher Kay Bavin-Crawford summed up this grim reality perfectly back in 2026. Quote, "You aren't informed, you're datafied. You are being mined for clicks in a modern-day e-coliseum, where your deepest ideology is nothing but the product on the shelf." Pretty wild, right? I know. This all sounds incredibly bleak. The level of synthetic espionage happening is just off the charts. But listen, we are not helpless in this digital arms race. It's time to play some defense and actively Neuro-Shield your focus. To do this, you need to build what experts call a Metacognitive Firewall. Forget the old idea of a digital detox. That doesn't work long-term anyway. Step 1 is metacognitive awareness. Literally stopping to ask yourself, wait, am I actually angry at this policy, or am I just tired and being nudged? Step 2 is a multimodal reset. And step 3 is demanding algorithmic transparency. Let's dive into that multimodal reset because this is huge. Since the app reads your physical stress through your typing cadence, you have to break the cycle physically. Enter the 30-second sway. It's so simple. Just stand up, close your eyes, and let your body gently sway for 30 seconds. It grounds your nervous system and totally scrambles the biometric feedback loop your phone is relying on. You essentially wipe the slate clean for your brain. And regarding that third step, transparency, a May 2026 study by Timko and Adina revealed something incredibly hopeful. We usually assume people just want free apps, completely ignoring the privacy cost. But researchers found that when given transparent app design, our willingness to pay for better mental health actually skyrockets. We will absolutely choose to protect our minds over surrendering to dark patterns that exploit our willingness to scroll for fear. There's a great saying for this. The election is a choice for the country, but the scroll is a choice for your brain. You might not be able to control the chaotic political landscape around you, but right now, today, you absolutely have the power to Neuro-Shield your focus and intentionally step out of the outrage loop. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to look at that device in your hand and ask yourself a serious question. Who is building your reality today? Are you making the active choices, or are you letting the doom scroll architects quietly construct your world for you? Build your firewall, guard your attention, and as always, stay curious.